for I walk in this world. Good morning. So, what are you going to do today? You have some choices to make. We all have choices to make. Every day, as a matter of fact, we have choices to make. So let's talk about the choices we get to make today. These choices are in your basket, and you can do with them as you wish. Today, you get to choose whether or not you're going to watch the news. Now, some of you like watching the news. It lifts you up and you like it. Some of you don't like watching the news and it pulls you down. So I've got to ask the honest question. If it pulls you down, why are you going to watch it today? It's not needed. If you want to keep up with things, yeah, watch it every once in a while. But today in particular, if the news pulls you down, don't watch it today. You don't need that in your life. Today, you get to choose whether or not you're going to be happy. Well, sort of. You get to choose whether you want to be happy. I know this sounds a little silly, because who in their right mind would choose to not be happy? And just choosing to be happy, well, it doesn't guarantee that you will be happy, but I can guarantee one thing. If you choose to be unhappy, you will be. So you need to keep the door open. You want to be happy today? Give yourself the opportunity. Allow that opportunity to come into your life. Today, you get to choose how others are going to affect you. No matter what anybody else does to you, you get to choose how to react to them. Should I remind you about Jesus when he was being nailed to the cross and how he chose to react to the people that were there? He chose to forgive them, the very people that were doing the crucifying. Jesus did not allow those people to determine who he was. We get to make the same sort of choice, and our choice is not nearly as dramatic as that. But today, you get to choose how others will affect you. Here's a good one. You get to choose today what kind of a face you're going to wear. Now, for some of us, well, we might want to trade in the one that we have. But the truth is, we all get to wear a face that either says that we are accepting and decent people to be around, or that we're old grumps. It's our choice. Things may be really hard for you. Right now, you may be going through a lot. But you choose whether to display your difficulties. Choose today carefully what kind of a face you put on. Today, you get to choose how much time you're going to spend on social media. Lots of us have found ourselves wasting an hour or more looking at Facebook or Twitter or some other internet waster of time. And when we do that, I would hope that we have at least some kind of a twinge that we really wasted some time when we could have done something better. So rather than go down that path of wasting that time, simply choose not to go there. You can do better. Today, you get to choose how you're going to affect someone else's day. Simply by choosing to be nice, or choosing to show a kindness, or to be giving someone else a compliment or an encouragement, you can actually change the day for someone else. You might even change their life. It is surprising how much one positive comment out of our mouths can affect someone else, and we can turn them around in so many ways. You get to choose today how you're going to affect other people's lives. What an amazing gift. What an amazing power. Today, you get to choose what to do with gossip. Now, I say this with some confidence because there's a lot of gossip out there that gets passed around. And you know how gossip can hurt or even destroy someone's life. So today, you get to choose whether or not you will pass that on. The truth is, you have a tremendous power to let the hurt stop with you. Gossip doesn't have to be passed on through your lips. You have control over that. And think about what a good thing that can be in the life of someone else. You get to choose today what kind of information enters into your mind. If you so choose, there is a smorgasbord of mental garbage out there to select from, and you can fill your mind with all sorts of garbage. But if you choose, there's a better route. There are things to read. There are things to watch, movies and other things. There's all sorts of all kinds of information sources that can put good things into our mind. You get to choose today what's going to go into your mind. You get to also choose today what kind of words you're going to use. Wow, this is a big one. The book of James would really speak heavily to us because our words are very powerful, very important. Today, you get to choose whether you will use words of encouragement or words of discouragement. You can use words that tear people down or words that build people up. You get to use words that reflect the holiness of God, or you can use words that reflect the vulgarity of the world. Or you may simply choose to use fewer words today, and in a lot of cases, that would be a real blessing. Today, you get to choose what kind of a worker you're going to be. You can choose to just get by and do the bare minimum, or you can choose to work harder and seek to be more productive. And this goes for if you're working for somebody else, or whether you're working for yourself, or whether you're retired and you're staying at home and you just want to get a few things done around the house. You get to choose today what kind of a worker you're going to be. You also get to choose today what kind of a family member you're going to be. Consider how important this is to your spouse, to your children, to your parents. All of us, most of us, have a family around of some kind. And what kind of a family member we are going to be today, it's entirely in our choice. So choose very carefully there. There's very few things on this earth that are more important than those relationships. Choose wisely. Today, you get to choose whether you're going to read the Bible or pray or meditate on some worthy thing. It is entirely in your control to do these things. Now, you may not get to do them as much as you would like. You may be limited in time in doing as much as you'd like, but you can choose today whether or not you are going to spend any time at all in prayer or meditation or reading. And certainly as one who wants to fill your mind with spiritual things, you need to give some careful attention to this choice. And then finally this, you get to choose today whether you're going to be light or whether you're going to add to the darkness of the world. We are right now surrounded by COVID, and we're surrounded by politics and by people who are afraid and angry. Today, you get to choose whether you will add to the darkness or whether you yourself will be the light that you are designed to be. I want to encourage you, go today, be light, and make good choices. Bye.
They resound with God's own heart. Oh, let the ancient words impart. Words of life, words of hope.